Hi everybody, welcome to Worldmakers. I'm here with Dave Madden from Electronic Arts. Dave, great to have you here. Thanks for making the time.
Bob, thanks for having me.
So I'm fascinated by what you do. We in the agency world, we're constantly talking about gaming as it relates to mobile, as it relates to social. What's your overall sense of what's happening in the world now with gaming? Where do you think the big opportunities are?
Well, gaming is an evolving space. I think the new devices that have come out, the tablets, smartphones, now social networking, the browser itself has become a game platform. It's really creating an explosion in the type of games that are being played, but also just the demographics, the audience is changing dramatically. It's really broadened the space and made it a truly global phenomenon in just a couple year span.
Clearly you've spent a lot of time at CES over the years.
Yes, I have, Bob.
What do you think about CES this year? Anything that was particularly inspiring, informative for a pioneer veteran like you?
I think the interesting thing about CES this year is the merger of the television set along with the devices. We're seeing as a developer of game franchises and game content that we need to make a game that runs across multiple devices at once and lets a user play against another user across those devices. So I might be on an iPad, you might be on an Android device, someone else might be on a game console, or maybe down the road, not too far, a TV set, and we're all connected and playing the same game. And so that's what's going on here, is the convergence of devices and the convergence of the content across those devices.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point. One of the aspects of that I'm always talking about with clients, the old conversation 4 or 5 years ago was here's traditional, here's digital. And my point of view with clients is how it's all really blended now, it's all integrated, and content is the consistent platform that crosses all of those different channels, and it's no longer one versus the other. It's about what's the best blend. I mean, to make this in the most simplistic way, what's the best blend for your particular brand. So one other question I wanted to ask you though, I was reading something on Deutsche Bank before you came, and they had this very aggressive report about the spending in this category. So clearly that's both an opportunity and a challenge for EA, given the competitive set is even growing, it's more dynamic. How do you view that? What's your sense about where this will go with spending and from a competitive point of view?
We really think that the game space is consolidating around major franchises, and then having those franchises run across multiple devices so a user can connect at any time of day from any place to use those devices. Social gaming is a really great example of what's going on in that space, and we're putting a big investment behind it. We've got some of the top franchises out there. It's going to be a really competitive space, but it's also one that brands can activate against, because in gaming and social, it's a very deep relationship with the consumer where when a brand gets involved, they can actually start to build a two-way dialogue. And so gaming allows brands in social to get much deeper with the consumer.
I think that's great, and sitting here listening to you talk, all I can think about are the opportunities for all the different brands we have. So I really appreciate your joining us on Worldmakers. Thank you very much.
Bob, thanks for having me. It was great.
And thank you for joining us on Worldmakers.